Today I'm going to share my tips and tricks for making the perfect pasta salad. And let me tell you, this Ditalini pasta salad is going to be your new go-to. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. Today's recipe is pasta salad. There are so many different variations of pasta salad. I am sure you've made several different kinds. So have I. But this one is the absolute best I've ever had. And I think it is largely due to the type of pasta and all the other ingredients that just pair perfectly with it. And then it's dressed with a really simple type of a pasta salad dressing. 3 ingredients, all you need for the dressing. It's absolutely delicious. The first thing you want to do is get your pasta cooked. So to do that, fill a pot with water and get it boiling on the stove. How much water you use is dependent on the size of the pot. I'm using kind of a skillet, so it's a lower profile. It has a colander that goes right in there. It makes it super easy to drain the pasta. But whatever you want to set up on your stove to boil the pasta is perfectly fine. So bring the water to a boil and then we're going to salt it. That's very important. Now, how much salt you add depends on how much water and how much pasta you're cooking at once. So I have 12 cups of water, 8 ounces of pasta. I'm going to use a half of a tablespoon of a kosher salt. You could use sea salt as well. So sprinkle that in and then just give it a little stir. Then make sure it comes back to a rolling boil before you add in your pasta. So the pasta in this recipe is the key. It is called Ditalini pasta. It's got a little hole in it. It's a small pasta, and it makes this pasta salad, number one, so easy to eat, and all of the textures go together perfectly. It's absolutely the best pasta salad I've ever made. I know you're gonna love it. All right, 8 ounces of pasta for one recipe. You can double it if you'd like. And that is about 1.5 cups. So give the pasta a stir so that it doesn't stick, but don't add any oil. That is very important. A lot of times I know people will add oil to their pasta so that it doesn't become starchy. But guess what? When you're making pasta salad, you want it a little starchy because we want that dressing to cling to the pasta. That's what's going to flavor everything and help avoid a runny pasta salad where all the dressing just sort of slips off, okay? We want it to adhere to the pasta, so we want some starch left on that pasta. So the Ditalini pasta takes about 10 minutes to boil, but in 8 minutes, we're gonna add in frozen shrimp because we wanna get those cooked as well. Now the shrimp are optional in the recipe. I use about 1.5 cups, which is 6 ounces. You can use them or omit them. That's totally up to you. I'm using small shrimp that are 60 to 80 per pound, and they are already peeled and deveined, and they come frozen. So I just add them in to the pasta 2 minutes before the pasta's done, and they cook perfectly. While the pasta's cooking, let's make up this really simple dressing. You are gonna love this. It is only 3 ingredients, super easy, and it's gonna go on all kinds of different pasta salads. So even if you don't wanna make the one I'm making, although I think you should, try this dressing out. 1 cup of real mayonnaise. Now, I have not tried this with Miracle Whip. However, if you like that extra tang of a Miracle Whip, you would probably be fine to substitute it in this recipe. 1.5 tablespoons of a white wine vinegar. You could also use just plain white vinegar, or you can use an apple cider vinegar. That's perfectly fine. Don't use balsamic vinegar though. That will change the entire look and flavor. And then 3 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. You can cut down on that if you want to, but I found this to be a really nice balance between sweet and tangy from the vinegar and the sugar. So just whisk this up. And then we're gonna leave it to the side here. You don't need to refrigerate it right now because we're gonna add it, some of it anyway, to the warm pasta. And that is another tip that I have for making pasta salad. And I'll get into that in just a second because it is about time to add our shrimp. This is a really good size for this pasta salad because the shrimp are just a little bit bigger than the other ingredients, but because they're cooked perfectly, they just have this great texture and boost of flavor. I absolutely love the shrimp in this pasta salad. All right, so the pasta cooked for 8 minutes. We added the shrimp, cooked an additional 2 minutes. I just tasted one of the pasta. They're perfectly al dente, and we are ready to go. So now, just drain off all the extra water. We want the pasta salad to be as dry as possible. So you want to really take your time getting all of the water drained off. All right, then put it into a large mixing bowl. And then, if you like peas, I love peas, you're gonna add in 1 cup or about 6 ounces of frozen peas. Don't cook them first, they're already blanched. They are going to thaw in the pasta salad while it's warm, and they just add such a nice sweet and a vibrant green color. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. But if you don't like peas, omit them. Give the pasta salad a little stir. Okay, now we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of the dressing that we made. This is super important. So many people let their pasta cool down before they dress it if they're making pasta salad. And you really shouldn't do that. You really should put part of the dressing on while the pasta's warm because it starts to absorb the dressing and it flavors the pasta so beautifully. So definitely next time you're making pasta salad, put in about a 1/4 of the dressing before you even refrigerate it, okay? Stir that in. You don't want to put all of it in because the pasta will absorb almost all of it. And then when you go to serve it, you won't have a creamy pasta salad. So you only want to put in about a 1/4 of it. So in this instance, it's a 1/4 cup or so. And we'll mix that around. Then you want to refrigerate it because now we want to chill it before we add in any of our fresh vegetables and put the final bit of dressing on. What I like to do is just pop it right in the refrigerator. And I know before you say you shouldn't put anything warm in the refrigerator. We have frozen peas in here that cooled everything down, so it is not really that warm anymore, okay? And we also put in some of the dressing. It is perfectly fine to put it right in your refrigerator uncovered. And that is important, uncovered for at least the first 30 minutes, because if you did cover it with saran wrap or foil, there will be a little bit of steam that comes up and you'll get condensation, and that condensation will drip back down into your pasta salad and make it runny. So uncovered for 30 minutes, then you're gonna cover it with saran wrap and let it chill completely. That'll take about 2 hours, or you can leave it overnight. Then we'll get to prepping all the vegetables and get our pasta salad finished up. Once your pasta salad has chilled for at least 2 hours, but again, you could go 4, even overnight if you wanted to, and give it a little bit of a stir. What I'm looking for is just to see, is there a lot of liquid in here? And there is not. That is absolutely perfect. That's what we want. If for some reason you did have a lot of liquid, you may want to consider draining it so that you don't end up with too liquidy of a pasta salad. All right, so I'm going to set this to the side now and grate my carrot. There's a certain way that I like to grate the carrot, so I wanted to show you that. I use the large side of a box grater, or it could be one that lays flat over the bowl, which is actually my preference, but I just don't have one here. And then I take the carrot, I have peeled it and cut both ends off. I don't want long strips of carrot, but I do want the burst of color that it gives and the little bit of texture. So I go this way with it, just kind of a little bit on the diagonal to make little shreds like that. That's what you want to see. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'll add between 1 and 2 carrots, depending on the size. I don't really usually measure the carrots, but probably about a 1/4 of a cup is a good starting point. So 1/4 cup shredded. All right, that looks good. So that's about a 1/4 of a cup. That was 1 small carrot. So I'm gonna add that in. I can always add more later. And just look at the pop of color. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This Ditalini pasta salad is so colorful. It's so delicious. And it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. 1 cup of finely diced celery. The idea when you're cutting all your vegetables up is to make them about the same size as the pasta. We want everything in this pasta salad to be about the same size, except the shrimp are a little bit larger. All right, so 1 cup, it's probably about a 1/4 inch dice, okay? Then we have a 1/2 cup of red bell pepper and a 1/2 cup of yellow bell pepper, and I did the exact same thing with dicing it up about the same size, so a 1/4 inch dice. Now, if you didn't want to add the yellow, you could add all red, it's perfectly fine. Now for the tomatoes. I used Roma tomatoes because they are not quite as seedy or as juicy, and I'm using the flesh only. You want about a cup of diced tomato, that's about a 1/4 inch in size. You can use any kind of tomatoes you want, but try to get rid of as many seeds and liquid as you can, or your pasta salad will end up too runny. So 1 cup is what you want. And then for the onion, I like to use red onion, but honestly, you could use whatever kind of onion you want. You want about a 1/4 cup of it. Same size dice. All right, so for the cucumbers, 1 cup of finely diced 1/4 inch cucumber. You can use any kind of cucumbers you want. I leave the skin on. You can take the skin off, that's fine. If you're using an English cucumber, you don't usually have to remove the seeds and the wetter part in the center, but if you're using a regular cucumber, you may want to do that. And what I do is I will slice them and then slice that piece off. So if I see a big area with a lot of seeds, I know that's going to be very juicy and it's going to get our pasta salad too wet. So I just slice that right off. So 1 cup. And then we're gonna put the rest of our dressing on. You could do this in stages just in case you didn't want to overdress it. Maybe you like less dressing on your pasta salad, so that's perfectly fine. In fact, that's what I'll do. I'll put in about 1/2 of it and then give it a nice stir. This is so beautiful. Now, when it comes to the vegetables you use, honestly, you pick and choose what you like. You don't have to include everything that I've included. You could even change the dressing up a little bit if you wanted to make it more Mediterranean with black olives and things like that. But look at how gorgeous this is. Wow. And I think we have enough carrots, so I'm good with that amount. Then, just as a final little garnish, I like to add in some green onions, just the green part though. I use the white part for something else, and save these little guys to put right into the salad. So I'm just gonna chop those up. All right, before I add these, I'm gonna add the rest of the dressing. I happen to like a saucy pasta salad, so I'm gonna add all of it in, but that is totally up to you. This will stay good. In fact, it's actually better the next day. So put a cover on it and refrigerate it overnight, but it will stay good in the refrigerator for at least 3 or 4 days. It's not one of those pasta salads that gets really liquidy. It's terrific. Now at this point, if you were gonna transfer it to a serving bowl, that's what I would do right now, and then put your green onions on top. All right, we'll pretend this is my serving bowl because I don't feel like transferring it. And then just sprinkle the green onions over top. Cover it with some saran wrap, pop it into the refrigerator, and leave it refrigerated until you are gonna serve it at your gathering. Oh, I'm super excited. I love this pasta salad. I know you will too. All right, let's get a shrimp. Perfectly cooked. It adds such a nice flavor to this pasta salad. I mean, the shrimp is optional, obviously, but oh boy, it is so good in here. All right, now let's get the pasta with a little bit of everything else. My goodness. This is perfect. The dressing is so simple, but it is perfectly balanced and it goes with all of these vegetables so well. So it brings out the vegetable flavor. It's so, so good. The carrots are the perfect texture because you don't really want something so crunchy as a raw carrot in your pasta salad. So grating them is the way to go. The pasta itself, absolutely perfectly cooked, and it's flavorful. Everything about this is perfect. This is the perfect pasta salad.